All right, we are live. How's everyone doing? Let me go ahead and just tweet that I'm live, and we'll be good.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
I am good. Good on this fine Sunday morning. So who else got on here right now? How you doing?
How are you?
I am good. Good on this fine Sunday morning. There we go. So who else got on here right now? How you doing? Now, let me fix that right there. Cool. Sorry about that. All right. So apps. Let me go ahead and screen share, and then I'll do a quick overview. But who all we have on the actual Hangouts? We got 3 people. Y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves? That's fine. Start with Darnell. Is that how you pronounce it? Cool. You're muted. There you go.
Let me unmute. Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Danielle Adima, software engineer apprentice at IBM, and I'm just interested in this app group thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. You work for IBM?
Yeah,
What do you do for them?
software engineer. I'm an apprentice there.
Okay.
Mm,
Cool.
yeah.
And who else we have? Deidra. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. Looks like they're mute.
Pretty close. It's Deidra. I'm just here to learn. Hear what you're talking.
Sorry about messing up your name. All right,
Oh,
so let me go ahead and screen share entire screen. So app flipping. So let me give you a little introduction about me and what I do. So my name is Jerome Parker. I am a software entrepreneur. So I've been coding most of my life. Started when I was 8. Started my first tech company when I was in high school at 14. And then I freelanced for a while, and now I'm back to, writing apps. And now I've been flipping apps for about close to 5 years now. And, I've run a startup called Treat Me at Home. I do blogging. I go to conferences and cover conferences, usually with a media pass. And, so that's pretty much what I do. Some of the technologies I work with, my main thing I do is write progressive web apps using Laravel and Vue. Also do some stuff in Go, Java, Python, and C and C++. So what I want to talk about today was app flipping. So like I said, I've been doing this for close to 5 years now. And it's really, similar to like flipping a house, flipping cars, flipping anything. I go on different websites. My main one that I use is Flippa.com, which is what I have here, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. But basically, I search for apps that are, usually just making a little bit of money. Because usually those developers, those are quick flips. They're written in 6 months or less. Most of the time, they're games, and I basically do one of 2 things. I either resell them or I'll keep it and fix it up, run ads on it, do little things to increase that residual revenue. So what I want to do now is, instead of focusing on the apps that are only a few $100s or like a couple $1,000s max, I want to start getting into buying bigger businesses, apps and websites that are generating $10,000 plus a month. And those usually are going for, 25, 30, 50,000 and up, as you'll see on the screen when I finish showing you guys on Flippa. So, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars at my disposal to just buy them myself. So I really want to take the group economic approach. A lot of people go in for commercial real estate. You rarely see somebody buy an office building by themselves. They're always going in with a few other investors. It could be up to 10 plus investors at a time. So taking that similar analogy, I want to apply that to apps. So I guess the best thing to start doing is just showing you. So the main app that I use is Flippa.com. And on Flippa, you can look for starter sites, established websites and businesses, apps, and domains. Now, I typically stay away from domains because those take a longer time to sell. But I do have colleagues who do domain flipping. That was really big in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, but not so much anymore. What I've had a lot of success in lately is buying apps. And like I said, these are more of the games, the little utility apps that usually they're making their money with AdMob or in-app purchases. What I really want to transition into is the established websites and businesses. And these are the companies, some of these websites and businesses already have employees that are working for them, usually remote, offshore employees, et cetera, et cetera. So let's just take a look. Let's start off with apps. So, it's a marketplace. You can buy and sell, and you can set parameters, right? So I want to look for iOS apps, Android apps. Let's look for stuff with a monthly profit, just because these are easier to sell. Look for something that's making up to $500 a month. Monetization, we want all types of monetization. The price range, we'll leave that open, and let's hit search. Okay. So the first thing that I look at is I try to stick with bids that are less than a week left on the bid. And this it's like eBay. So you put your listing price, your starting price. You can put a buy it now price. It's also called the reserve. And then basically it's just a bidding system. People bid, just outbid each other. Like I said, similar to eBay. And then once you, if you win the bid, then there's a whole escrow service. You can either use PayPal or you can use the built-in escrow service that Flippa provides. For stuff that's a few $100s, or even like something that's like this, up to $1,500, I don't mind doing that with a PayPal. Anything bigger than that, I just typically feel safer using the escrow. So first thing I'll do is, like I said, so this one has a day left. It's got 61 bids on it. Its current bid is $2,050. It has a reserve, buy it now reserve for $4,000. Its main monetization is advertising, and its net profit about $424 per month, with a gross profit, gross revenue of $1,271 a month, which lets me know that they're spending about $800 on ads. Currently, he's got about 10,000 plus installs. This is both an iOS and Android app. This is showing the Google Play. We can find it. It's got the ratings from Google Play, the pricing. It comes with the source code, which is a big plus because, like I said, I like to take these apps and build them up. So, I might find a engineer. I'll pay them. This is a game, so it's probably written in either Unity or Construct. Let me see if it tells in here. Mode, blah, 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 blah. All right, they're not saying it right here in the description that I'm seeing, but usually games are usually almost either a Unity game or a Construct game, which is another game engine. But I like those because, for example, with Unity games, you can export out to Android, you can export out to iOS, export out to PlayStation, Xbox. If there's some, 3D games, you can do 2D games too. But what I've noticed a lot of times is that people will make like just an Android game, for example, because they didn't want to pay for an iOS developer license. So, you find stuff like that and it's in Unity. All we have to do is simply export it out to iOS, upload to iOS. Now we got 2 streams of income coming from the same app. In this case, they already have the iOS and the Android app. So I'm assuming these financials are combined. So I'll see this. I think I already downloaded this app. So I'll find the app on the Android store, or on my iPad, go on the App Store, and I'll download the game. Play it for a little bit. Most game, I'm not really a mobile game person, so I particularly get bored pretty quickly. But just to make sure that it's a working app, et cetera, et cetera. So I would, in this case, if I liked it, I'd place a bid. If it's making $424 a month, they want their buy it now. Usually the buy it now price is going to be 10 to 12 months, 10 to 12 times whatever the monthly is. So they want it for 4,000. It's making about $424 a month. So you'll make your money back in 8 months and some change, or 9 months and some change. So all of these financials, this is coming from Google AdMob, because this is a AdMob. I'll show you some other apps that show like some of like the Shopify websites or whatever. That's going to be like Stripe Money or PayPal Money, et cetera, et cetera. But I like getting games that are ad based because there's really not much more you have to do. So it's like a minimum effort, maximum profit type of thing. Now, if I see a game that is, I bought this game called Pocket Jump. It's making like $40 a month. I got it for $200, right? So the first thing I'm doing is I'm adding new levels to the game. Very simple. It's made with Unity. I'm just going to start adding some new levels and adding some skins to do in-app purchases. So, I got a really good steal for that at 200. If I do nothing else, I'll make my money back in about 5 months. If I do a little extra, I think I can make a return in about 3 months on that particular app. So if they're saying that the cost is 0, I'm assuming that they're not doing too much advertising at this point. If it's at, they got 7,000 or app installs, 7,000 plus app installs or whatever, then I'm assuming that they've reached their organic point. So that tells me that if I want to, the simplest thing that I can do to increase its revenue is just do an ad campaign, and I'll play around with that. I usually try to start with $5 to $10 a day, and then just go up depending on how the analytics are looking on the ads. And for ads, I'll use AdWords, because you get YouTube, and you get Google search listings, as well as ad banners and other mobile apps. And then I also use Facebook ads, which sometimes do better than AdWords, especially if it's a mobile game. So let's say we bought this app. We just did to buy it now for 4,000. We won the app. It's really simple, because on the dashboard for your mobile apps, there's a feature for you to transfer your app to another Google developer account. With iOS apps, there's a little bit more stuff you have to do, but it's still a relatively simple process. So let's say we put the money in escrow. I give him my Google developer account information, and then I give him the ad banner code for all the different types of ads that they have in the game, which could be either a banner ad, which are the ads you see at the top and the bottom, interstitial ad, which are ads that pop up and they show a video. It's like the full screen ads. And then they have rewarded ads, and those are like the ads. If you played other games, you got an ad where you could play a demo of another game inside of that ad. And then there's click now to download. Those are what's called rewarded ads, and those pay the most. Now, why do I choose games when I'm looking for mobile apps? Screen time, especially if the app is the main source of revenue is ads, then the more screen time someone is spending playing that game, the more income you're generating and more chances they have for clicking on the interstitial and or rewarded ads. So downloads is a really important factor to me because, you know, the more downloads, the more people are going to be using it at any given point in time. Another thing I look at is I look at the seller. Are they a verified seller? Have they done transactions before? Have they had positive feedback? So this Lydia person, Lydia 19, they got a blue check mark. They've done 5 transactions. I'm gonna watch this seller actually. And you can also contact the seller. The payment methods, do they accept Flippa escrow? That's if they don't accept Flippa escrow, it's not necessarily a red flag to me because I usually end up using PayPal anyway, but there should be no reason why they wouldn't want to at least offer it. It's just usually faster. It's faster to do PayPal. I look at the seller notes. So what's coming in with this app? If the BIN, that stands for buy it now. So if you were just to win the app by itself, they're going to transfer to your Google account. They're going to give you the source code. If you buy it now, they give you all the complete assets. They do a free integration for AdMob apps, and then they give you the iOS app. So if you hit buy it now, buy it for $4K. You with an exclusive right, 20% owner, resell, modify, etc., etc. So some apps, they like, if you're just interested in just getting the income, you're not trying to put any more work into it, then a simple transfer is good enough. If you know you're not going to touch that source code ever again, a simple transfer is good enough because you're just worried about the income. Now, in this case, I would probably want to do it for the buy it now because I would want to edit the source code. Now, I'm a developer, so I'm looking at it different. A lot of people who buy apps on here are not developers. They're just business people with extra capital. So, they're not, they could care less if you get the source code. They just want the current money that is generating. They'll also do some ASO, stands for Android search optimization for you. So, editing your listing so it'll appear higher on the search results when you search in the App Store or App Store optimization. So they're saying there's no ongoing cost, which means they're not really promoting much. They say promote. Fresh release, doing good so far, just promoted, blah, blah, blah. So that's another reason why I like mobile apps, because you can find a lot of apps that you really don't have to do a whole bunch to it. When you buy like drop shipping sites on Flippa or other SaaS apps, they're probably going to make more money, but you're also going to have to do more maintenance. So there's a trade-off with that. And I hear something. Does Mike have a question? Oh, okay. Alex, can you mute yourself? Thank you. So why are you selling the app? Most people, the same thing. Most of the people who are selling out here, they're app companies. So they have multiple apps. And typically, they're going to sell apps that aren't making as much money so they can get from capital to reinvest into the apps that are making more money. And one second, there you go. All right. How does the app generate revenue? Via in-app purchases or monetized ads. Okay, so this app has in-app purchases. That's also a good sign for me because in-app purchases, those over time have the potential to give you a lot more money. Just think of things like Candy Crush, buying extra lives, and how much money they made just off that. 50 organic downloads daily. That's actually a really good number. That's about what 100 or 1,500 downloads a month. That's pretty good. So about $8 to $10 per day with 2 to 100 visitors per day. So that tells me that most people who are playing this are spending a sizable amount of screen time on the app, which is good. If you're driving 100 to $500 per day, you can make up to 800 a day. Okay, I believe that. I've seen better things happen. So once again, if I were to buy this app, then my main thing I'll be thinking about is ads. So how much money do I want to put in for advertising, and what is my download goal? So I mean, you can just throw like $1,000 at ads if you want to, but if you're not, targeting the right demographics on who these ads are targeting, you're just wasting money. So doing research on the demographics of who's using the app is also very important. And usually they give you Google Analytics that come with it, so you can do that kind of research. All right, and then they got attachments. They got seller declaration. This is okay. So this is the seller declaration. All right, cool. All right, so those are apps. Let me go back and let's look at websites and businesses. So as you can see, there's a much bigger price difference than on when you're buying apps. There's somebody have a question? Or somebody went off mute. Okay. All right, cool. So let's look at geo hits. All right. So they're asking for 15,000, multiplier of 1.1. So that's basically meaning as is, you're gonna make 1.1% of your money back. So it's gonna take you, if you did nothing with this site right now, its annual revenue is 18,000, but their net profit is 13,000, which tells me that they're probably spending about $5,000 on advertising, which a year, which for an e-commerce site, that sounds about right. Honestly, they're probably not spending enough. So let's view this listing. So it's an e-commerce website. Boost your social account. Business owners may enter their financials, connected their site traffic with Google Analytics. Okay, so let's look at, and websites typically have more details. So let's look at the profit and loss. All right, so this is our PayPal summary, which that's good. I like seeing that. So this is from the last 2 years, January 2017 to January 2019. Geo hits, that's the name of the website. So their total balance, 67,881, 49,000, and they ended with $49,351. So sales activity, they made about $58,000 in sales, gave $1,700 in refunds. It's a pretty good ratio. They spent about $4,000 in fees, which I'm assuming that's like they're using Stripe or PayPal rather. So that 2.9% plus 30 cents, those are your payment fees. There you go, right there. And they have some fees of $5, whatever. That's nothing. Let's see if you saw that they withdrew 39,000 from their account. Okay. They had $14,000 in other purchases, and they sent $15,000 in other payments. So I don't know if they're selling, if they have like a affiliate program, some sort of marketing program, they're paying other people, but typically that's what these e-commerce sites do. And let's see what else we got. Payment review releases. Oh, okay, so they have payment reviews. Okay. And all right, so okay, cool. So in total, they spent what, about 20, they netted about 20 something thousand, 22,000, what it looks like. Okay. Over 2 years. So it's about making about $10,000 a year. So whatever, what is that? Yeah, about $1,000 a month in residual, plus or minus. So they're based in Greece. I'm looking at this annual expenses, 5,000, and then net about okay, then net 13,200. Okay, so that is, I find that to be pretty good actually. So they're wanting 15,000 for the asking price. Oh, that's another thing. Not all of the apps are bids. So the higher value ones, they just straight up have an asking price, and then you negotiate. Flippa actually has like this service called Flippa Finder. So you can get you can have them like search out certain criteria for you to find you reputable and reputable sales or whatever. So yeah, so they give you the seller's information. You can contact them. We can schedule a call. I've never had a situation where I've talked to an app owner and I asked them, hey, can you screen share so I can see your PayPal? Can you screen share? Can I see your AdMob account? Can you screen share? Can I see your Stripe account? If they are legit, they usually have no problem showing that to you. If they do, then that's a huge red flag, and you should probably just back out of that deal. Now, Flippa does really well about banning bad actors on this space. So usually I don't, like I said, I personally have never had a problem. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I personally don't know anyone of my other people who flip apps, they've had a bad experience. So, and they can refer you to a third party to do like an audit of the site. So these are the types of stuff that I'm looking at, and why I had the idea for 401k apps. So here's what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I don't have 50,000 to buy 3 apps. I don't have 90,000 to buy an e-commerce app. I definitely don't have 175,000 to buy an app. But you know what? I know all of us together can come up with it. So here's my idea, and here's what I propose. I propose that we start a pool of money, and we go forth and we are looking not just for the mobile apps that are $600, $5,000. I really want to go for these big ones. So I'm proposing that we come together, and I'm asking for a $250 initial investment from everybody who wants to join in. On top of that $250, I would ask for $250 a month for membership dues. Now, what is that $250 a month going to go towards? The number one thing is going to be going towards advertising for the apps that we buy. But another portion of it, I want to actually be able to hire a few engineers full time, and the only thing that they're doing is enhancing these apps that we buy. So we can increase the increase the value. Now, some of these apps, all we have to do is promote. Like a lot of these drop shipping, a lot of these e-commerce apps, they're already solid. If something's making $121,000 a year, I'm more apt to figure out how can we promote it more versus let's go in and potentially break it. You feel me? I feel much more comfortable going in and editing, Lodo underwater multiplayer that's making $300 a month than I am for, Crazy Gold making 121,000. So part of that money, majority of the money will go to advertisements. The rest of the money will go towards development. Now, I want to have weekly meetings. Like I said, for stuff that we're going to bid on, I want to look at stuff that has 5 days or less remaining on the bid, so we can watch it. And just like with eBay, you know what happens when it gets to the last hour of an eBay bid? That's when everybody starts bidding. So when we have these meetings, we're gonna look at what are we going to try to acquire this week. I want to try to do 1 to 2 a week. The goal is at least 5 a month. Let's go with this My Water app. All right. Let's say we don't want to buy it. We don't think it's worth it to do the buy it now price, but we're not willing to spend more than $3,000 on the bid. We'll vote on it. We'll come up with that number. We're not willing to do more than 3,000. All right, cool. It's got a day left. The last couple hours, I'm getting on here, and I'll incrementally just start doing the bid, $5 at a time. And so I would go on here. All right, I'd offer 2055. All right, the guy he bids 2100. I'll bid 2105, and we'll just keep doing this over and over. We get to the last minute, and let's say is at 2500, and I think we can win. I'll go ahead and do 2800. I'll do a bigger bid, but still below our threshold. All right, let's say we win. Boom, 2,800. All right, guys, there's 10 of us in the group. Let's each put up 280 to acquire this app. The 10 of us that put that money together, we're going to split that residual income. So what is that? $42.40 a month. We'll each, I'll send it to your PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. I'll give you Bitcoin. I don't care. However you want to get paid. Now, let's say we hold on to this app for a couple years. We build it up. It's at a point where it's making $1,000 a month. And we decide we want to sell it. Okay, making $1,000 a month. So we're going to put it on Flippa for let's try to get at least 9,000 out of it. 10,000. We're going to vote, of course. We'll all talk. We'll vote. Let's just say we all agree on 9,000 is what we're going to put the buy it now price for. We'll pay the Flippa their fee. I think it's like $9. It's something trivial to put the app up. We'll sell it. Once it sells, we split the money onto the next one. That's basically it in a nutshell. So, like I said, membership dues, I'm asking for $250 a month, or if you want to pay yearly, $2,500. It'll save you $500. Get too much free, basically, and an initial investment of $250 to get started. Does anybody have any questions so far about anything? Yes? No? Nobody has questions? Do you run the app flipping through an LLC? Yes, Bionic Innovations is the name of the LLC. This venture I'm calling 401k apps is basically an umbrella under Bionic Innovations. My business partner, he's out taking care of some houses right now. He's actually in real estate, and he's also a software engineer. So we go in, we buy apps together, and also I'm doing some real estate stuff with him as well. So yes, everything will be under an LLC. Let me go ahead and stop sharing for a second. Open up there we go. Yeah, so we're gonna run the app flipping through an LLC. Oh yeah, I guess people are watching on YouTube too. I should see if they're asking anything on the YouTube. I'm sorry, hold on one second. All right. Oh man, cool. So after updating, do you still have to do monthly maintenance on the apps? Jim Denson asked this question. So yes, it depends really. So like I said, we have some apps like generally like if you buy a drop shipping website, right? Those are usually you don't have to do much to those. You don't have to really do much enhancement. The biggest thing you have to do is promote. So most of the money is going to go to advertising. Now for stuff like the video games, people want to see they want to see progression. So that's why I'm talking about adding new levels, adding new in-app purchases, and that's where the part of the 250 a month going towards hiring developers. That's what we're going to do. So, like I said, we're going to have weekly calls, we're going to have weekly meetings and updates about what's going on with our portfolio. So let's say we buy a game, it's doing real well, and we decide, okay, let's add a new level and a new skin. All right, cool. We have our devs come in and we do it. So it just depends on everything. What is the Hangout link? Here, let me paste it on here if you want to join in on the call, ask any questions. Hold on one second. Let's see. Do you have some case studies for app flipping to see what we're getting into? Yeah, I do. Hold on one second. All right, so there's the Hangouts link. Case studies. Let me see. Let me call my homeboy. Actually, he's the one from college. He's the one who's told me about Flippa. Let me see if he's busy. He's gonna be mad. He's like, you just put me on a live stream. All right. And phone dead or turned off. All right. So, like I said, I have my apps.
Hello, can you hear me? I have a couple of questions.
Let's see. I bought Pocket Jump. We closed on that a few days ago. That's making about $40 a month. Only spent $200 on it. We have Saga Monkey. It's making we bought that for like $100, and that's making like $10 a month. And then my homeboy, what's the name of his website? The homeboy I tried to call right now, he bought a drop shipping site back in in college, or around our senior year of college, and that was making like $7,000. And he has rich parents, so they just like gave him money or whatever. So he bought that for like I think it was 12 grand, and it brought in 7,000 a year. So he ran that. I think it was a electric scooter dropshipping site, something electric something. I don't remember. I just remember I was like, "Are you serious?" Let me find some Flippa case studies. Here we go. Let me share my screen. How many initial investors are you looking for? I think 10, it would be a good starting point, but I mean, I'm open to more. Of course, I'm open. Like, I would love to have 100 of us come together and really do some damage, but I'm looking for an initial 10. That I feel like 10 is really the optimal nexus Because if we go in on a $10,000 app, it's $1,000 per person, which I think we can easily do. It seems like there is strong competency in mobile apps. How soon until you move into the larger SaaS style products? So that is what that's the whole purpose of this, because like I said, I could easily by myself just do like the lowercase app. Like I said, we're only talking a few hundred at most. I've never spent anything more than like $2,500 on an app flip. So, but that's small money. Like, yeah, if you have volume, it's good. But yeah, I want to transition to the SaaS style products. But realistically, in order to do that on a consistent scale, we need to do it as a group. So I guess to answer your question ASAP. And oh, hey Taylor, I didn't even see you in there. How you doing? SB asked, how much will it cost monthly to hire full-time devs? So that depends, where we're getting the devs from. If we're looking in like Africa or India, we'll be looking, per solo dev anywhere from $750 to $1,000 per month for 160 hours. I have a developer in India that I've used for years, and depending on what the conversion rate between Indian rupees and the US dollar is, then we're looking at about $775 to $800 a month. So then just horizontally scale that. Then if we find, then we can find like app studio companies where we'll get multiple devs. And we might have to pay like $3,000 a month is a number that I see a lot when I'm talking to offshore companies. So, but to be honest, like I don't know how many of us in here are devs. I'm assuming the majority of us are devs, but we could also there's no shame in us putting in sweat equity as well. Like I'm going to do that. I'm going to put in my time to help write the apps, and I'll also keep down costs. There's more money we can put towards marketing. Then this is also something, when we're having these weekly calls, is the stuff we're going to discuss. I have my resources. You all may have resources as well that I'm not privy to. So Tony McKelly, novice dev, like hit or miss. I know the dude that I got, he's really good, so you got to do vetting. I mean, for sure. We don't want to just pick the low, the cheapest person just because they're the cheapest person. There's definitely a trade-off between, experience and cost. I'm just giving you some of the guys that I found, it took me forever to find them. And I was burned a couple of times with some of the other people that I tried before I found Kalisha. I am is what I'm saying to help with that work. Oh yeah, I mean, dude, come on. I don't care if you're a junior dev or a senior dev, a lead dev. We can use everybody. Everybody's strength and skills. So like I said, I'm going to be putting in my time to editing the apps. If anybody else wants to help, that's great. Arcel asks, can we volunteer to be devs, like view it as open source or something, because it will look really good on my resume, LOL, since I don't have my own great personal projects. Dude, if you want to help dev, we'll pay you. Like that's what these membership dues are for. So absolutely. I'm open. Like all this is about like sharing money and spreading money. The more money we all make together, the more stuff we can do together. So if you want to help dev and you want to help on projects, yeah, we'll cut you a stipend. All right. So Cisco brought up SaaS apps, and I don't think I showed any of the SaaS apps. That's another one. Because you have the e-commerce and you got the SaaS. Let me just share my screen again. Trying to keep back and forth between the Google Hangout and the YouTube chat. All right, so SaaS. So the SaaS apps are what the ones that, these are really making it, you're getting higher multipliers. Oh yeah, this is awesome. So they have like QuickBooks verified financials. Anything that I'm spending 6 figures on, I'm definitely going to be asking for that. So like this is a SaaS business that allows direct sales brands and boutiques to market, manage, and automate their business. That sounds like money. Look at that. So shopwith.me. All right. Let's look at the pricing. Okay, so marketer, looking at $50 a month. Facebook albums, $5 a month, starting at $5 a month. Party links, $29 a month. Okay. All right, cool. So we're looking at a minimum of $5 to about $50 a month per user. And I'm sure if we ask for the details, they can break it down to how many is paying this much, how many is paying this much, et cetera, et cetera. It's owner operated, which means it is not a lot of overhead. Like some of the other ones, some of these, like I said, they come. You're buying the app, and you're basically buying the staff. Well, I mean, you got to pay the staff. There's gonna be additional costs, but probably. But yeah, so stuff that is owner operated, that tells me it is a pretty much self-sufficient website. So annual expenses are spending $230,000 to make basically $76,000. I don't particularly like that ratio, but depending on what the financial projections for this app might be, it might be worth it. I would need to look, we would have to do some deeper calls, schedule a call with the owner, have somebody do an audit. There's a pretty lengthy process when you're talking about apps that are in the high 5-6 figure range. You don't really want to rush through that. But so let's say it's making about 15,000, 14,000, anywhere from 4,000, anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 in net profit. All right, cool. Provides storefront solution to retailers who sell products for multi-level marketing companies. Okay, cool. It's got SMS messaging, email, sales funnel building app. That's pretty cool. A Facebook live stream e-commerce that captures sales from the live stream and generates orders automatically. Ooh, that looks very interesting. Okay, cool. So stuff like the SaaS apps, they're going to be, as far as like closing time, from inquiry to closing, these are going to take the longest, but there's also giving you the most profit. This is a 2.4 multiplier, which means you'll be making your money back, whatever, 184,596 divided by 2.4. That's about how many months it's going to take you to get your money back, to break even. And after that, it's just pure profit. So someone asked about case studies. So I'm on the Flippa blog, and it's case studies. So sold on Flippa, a SaaS business that builds your Instagram following. So 800 million users worldwide. It's called Pushgram. This person, somebody bought it. What is the product? Pushgram is a marketing software that helps small business on Instagram by automating activity, including comments, likes, and follows. Okay, so the Instagram bot. Blah. Who's the customers? All right, what made this business so appealing to prospective buyers? This business has been operating for almost 3 years and has annual profits of $40,000. Business has a low time commitment to run, with the previous owner spending only a few hours a week replying to customer emails and engaging the assistance of a developer when necessary. The business is well set up and has established customer base and a social presence of over 10,000. But how did Flippa assist with the sale? Flippa carried out a direct marketing campaign for Pushgram, which included an interview with the seller, which was written up and sent out of our database in a marketing email. From this, a buyer came forward and made an offer. Pushgram's listing had over 648 views, and the owner utilized Flippa's escrow service, which guaranteed safe and secure payment. So like I was saying, the really high value apps, Flippa is actually going to get in on this. Because if you use their escrow, they're going to make their money or whatever. So these are the apps that I want to target. And like I said, the needed capital is pretty up there. So we can talk to Flippa directly. They'll set everything up, and you get that added security and an assurance that Flippa is right there the whole time. You don't have to worry about somebody ghosting you. Sold on Flippa, a SaaS business that integrates Dropbox to servers. That sounds really interesting. So, oops. Where'd I go? There we go. So, DropDav. And it has served almost 100,000 users, 5 million plus requests. It's encrypted. It's got 99.9999% uptime. It has generated 14,500 in annual profits. Flippa now has 120. How did Flippa assist? Flippa now has 120,000 registered buyers, representing purchase intent of just under $1.2 billion. This combined with marketing efforts meant that DropDav was targeted at Flippa buyers looking to purchase a SaaS app below $50,000. It had over 1,200 views, and the owner utilized the escrow service. Here's the cool thing about Flippa's been around for a while, but it's still slept on. We're only competing with, a few thousand at most. Like I said, this had about 1,300 views. We're only competing with. There's not a lot of competition, and there's so many apps on here. And so, I mean, it really is a everybody can eat type of situation. And we can just go on and on this. If you head over to blog.flippa.com /category/case studies, I'll put this right in here. There's that. And then where is the Google Hangout? Oh, case studies for my app flipping. Yeah. So of all my apps that I have done over the course of the 5 years. So when I first started out, I just immediately flipped. I didn't worry about keeping it for the residual income. I just bought it, did a couple enhancements, and sold them back. So overall, because I've had over the 5 years, I've had like 3 different Flippa accounts. Buying and selling, I'd say about 15,000 I've profited from flipping. And then as far as residual income, my app portfolio right now is bringing about $1,000 a month in residual income, which I'm trying to increase that. So I've been spending a lot of time working on like Treat Me at Home and some of my other stuff, but that's actually my goal by the end of the year is to have my app portfolio bringing in me personally $2,500 a month in residual. Does that answer your question, Emmanuel? And I think we had some questions on here too. Could we volunteer? Oh, I already answered. That sounds like a good idea for a new website to connect developers. You may have $1 billion idea. That is a good idea, actually. Oh, okay. Cool. So before I go any further, do we have any questions? Do you have any questions on how the money is going to be used? Do you have any questions about the weekly meetings? Do you have questions about the price point? Any and all questions? We got about 20-something people in here, so I know somebody's got some questions. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Good? All right. So where do we go from here? First thing I want everyone to do, I'm not gonna, before I ask anybody for money, I want you all to go to flippa.com, flippa.com, and I want you to take a look at the stuff that's on there. Like I said, I don't mind targeting like the apps that are bidded on, like the small apps, but I'm really looking towards the SaaS apps, the e-commerce apps, the stuff that's, high capital, high return. So I want you guys to look at it. I want you guys to look at the buyers, look at the sellers, look at the history, and then make a decision. Now, as far as the sign up process, I'm building a web app. I'll have the MVP done today, and I'll post the link on Twitter. And that'll be basically for the membership dues. So you can sign up. And like I said, it's either $250 a month or $2,500 a year. And then there'll be the initial investment of $250. As far as what days we have the weekly meetings, I don't care. I work from home. So we'll have a vote on that. What day and time is best for the majority of the group. We will host these conversations on a video call, and I'll record them. So people who cannot make, if you can't make a meeting, you'll be able to go onto the web app and download the recording for that week. And basically what I want to do, so like I said, we're going to be, if we decide we want to do we're going to do a mixture, some of the apps that we bid on and some of the apps that we just directly inquire and buy out directly. And we'll decide what we want to focus on for that week. Make it to a point and be like, hey, we all like this one app and the bid ends in a day, but we also like the SaaS app that they're asking for $20,000 for. So we'll do both. We'll inquire about that app because, like I said, the closing time for the listings where they have the asking price, we're minimum 2 weeks. It could be up to 30 days. It's more, it's more due diligence. As far as like transferring over the servers, the databases, there's a lot more involved. But for the mobile apps, once the bid is done and we win, we're looking at a 24 to 72 hour turnaround when the app is transferred into the company portfolio. But yeah, and back to Arsel's point, if you don't have the capital to invest, but you have dev skills, and talk to us. We'll work something out. Like I said, at the minimum, we can take part of our 250 and set aside a few hours for you guys, and you can use that money to buy in if you wanted to. And also later down the line, I would love to get to a point where we have enough revenue coming in that we can just finance writing our own apps. And then we can keep those, or we can become sellers as well as buyers. We can keep them, or we can put them on Flippa and we can sell them. I'm thinking a 1 to 2 year goal. I think we should spend the first 1 to 2 years building up the capital and building up the monetary vehicle so that we can afford to do other ventures like that. But that's what I'm thinking for later down the line. Is there a way for a public ledger to see the money put in? Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we're doing. So the app is going to be using Stripe. And when you sign up for the account, the first thing you're going to see on the dashboard is how much money is in the group account. Everyone's going to have access to see that. And money is basically only going to be transferred when, apps need to be bought, engineers need to be paid, and all that stuff is going to be open and transparent. So from the get-go, this is all going to be transparent. I don't want, dealing with other people's money. I don't want none of those problems. Don't want no smoke. So yes, everything will be public. Lee Alexander, it seems like most of the money is going towards development and marketing. How much do you plan to allocate towards actually buying apps? Okay, so maybe I didn't explain that correctly. So the $250 a month, that's only for the marketing and development. Each app that we decide to buy, because like I said, if we're doing a bidding process, we're not going to know exactly how much it might be, you know, $695, for example. Let's just say we win the bid at $695. You know, that $695 divided by however many people are in the group, that's what we put up to buy the app. So we need to have a constant source for marketing and development, and that's what those dues are going towards. Does that make sense? So each acquisition, each app that we decide we're going to go into, we're going to put in that money. So like I said, if we got 10 people and we buy app for $1,000, each of us are going to put in 100 for that acquisition. And if we buy another app for $2,500 and we got 10 people, we're each going to put in $250 for that acquisition. Does that make sense? Let me know if that does. Let me know if that doesn't make sense. That model, and if you guys have any improvements and suggestions on that model, let me know, because I'm open to it. Like I said, the end goal is just to get this popping. Okay, cool. And it may get to a point. I would love for it to get to a point where our portfolio is doing so well that we can, whoever is in the group, if we reach a critical nexus of like membership in the group and we have our portfolio generating enough, we don't have to do membership dues anymore. The people who put in, we'll just focus on reinvesting the money from our portfolio. But starting out, we're going to need to put in initial capital. And like I said, all this is going to be publicly accessible to everyone. You're going to see all money going in. Everyone's going to see all money going out. There'll be no question, no room for misinterpretation. And all decisions are based off majority vote. So every decision along the way, we're going to vote on. And yeah, I just want to keep. I believe that the simplest structure is usually the best. And I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes. But if you guys don't like that structure, like I said, I'm completely open to discussing. This is what this is for. Do we have any other questions? Let's see. Let me check. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to have the web app up by tonight, and I'm going to put the basic information on there. I really would like us to start doing research no later than Wednesday as a group. And I think for testing the waters for the first couple apps, it might be a good idea for us just to focus on these cheaper mobile apps. Because that way we're only going to be putting in like $20 a person. If we buy an app if we find another app like Pocket Jump, I spent $220 on that, right? And it's making $40 a month. So if we want to just to test the waters, we can do a couple small apps. So there's not a whole bunch of, of money put in, and then basically go up from there. Are you guys cool with that? Or you just want to go straight in and go for one of these $10,000 apps? Like I said, it's up to you guys. I personally would feel more comfortable if we start out slow. We can get 2 or 3 apps at a couple $100. Like I said, if we have 10 people, you know, for $1,000, we can get 2 or 3 mobile apps going and start off getting a couple $100 coming in residually. Here's another thing about apps too. You're getting money on it every day. Now we're going to do payouts monthly. You know, so at the end of the month, we'll send out. We're going to send payouts to from each acquisition that's coming through our AdMob and Stripe and PayPal, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, like you'll be able, like I said, everything's gonna be transparent. I'm gonna give everyone who signs up, I'm gonna give them view access to all of the AdMob accounts, all of the Stripe accounts, and PayPal accounts. So at any given point in time, you guys can go in and look and see what's going on. I'm going to be setting up a conference bridge where, like I said, we're going to do video calls, but also if you can't do video, you'll be able to call in. And I mean, that's pretty, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory. So once again, I'm gonna go ahead and put the URL. So it's flippa.com. I put that in the YouTube. Now let me put this in the Google Hangout. All right, cool. So it looks like everybody's saying they'd be down to test the waters. Cool. I'm completely down with that. That would make me honestly feel a lot better. I mean, I'm not afraid to take a risk. I'm very aggressive with my risk taking, but I'm not going to be that way with y'all's money. So yeah, let's test the waters. So everyone look at flippa.com. I just posted the link there. Let's schedule for Wednesday. I'll set up a Zoom call, or yeah, maybe I'll do Hangouts because I can record on my computer and I don't have a paid Zoom account. But we're gonna do another Hangouts call on Wednesday. I'll record it. I'll put it up on the website, and we'll make our first decision as a group. Let's look for. I feel comfortable. You know, let's find an app under 1,000. What we'll do for our first one. So let's try to get 10 people, and you know, hopefully by Friday, Saturday, we'll find a bid. We'll have our first app in our portfolio come Monday. Oh, it's my business partner. I'm gonna have to call him back. So everybody good with that? I'm on Eastern time. So I don't know what your guys' time zone is, but if everyone is good with Wednesday, what time would you be good for having, let's set aside 45 minutes to an hour for an initial call? You guys just let me know and I'll set it up. Also, let me go ahead and I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Everyone who is interested, go ahead and send me your email so I have it, and I'll make an email group. After hours, okay. So would you say like Wednesday? You want to do Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time? Okay, Wednesday in the evening. All right, I'm gonna tentatively say Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I put my email in the chat. Will be honest, a lot of people have been sending me emails, and I know I'm gonna miss one, so I'd rather you guys just email me if you would be so kind, and I'll send out the Google invite with the Hangout link for Wednesday at 7:30. So with that being said, one last time for questions. and otherwise we'll wrap up. So this last 5 minutes is 1:10 p.m. So yeah, last 5 minutes open to questions. If you guys are on the Hangout and you want to ask the question instead of typing it out, feel free. But these next 5 minutes, I'm leaving to you guys. Come on, guys. I know somebody got questions. If you got somebody got questions, I know somebody's got questions. I know I'm not that good of I'm not that good of a public speaker. All right then, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming. Can we start? Okay, can we start from the beginning? Oh man, so that's the beautiful thing about YouTube. You can go back and rewatch this. But let me give a 30-second elevator pitch. So basically, we're gonna come together. We're all gonna pour money together. We're gonna vet these apps. We're gonna talk to the owners. We're gonna look at financials. We're gonna look at future projections, and then apps that we, as a collective, decide is worth buying. We're gonna pull the money together, and we're gonna buy them. And then we're gonna every month we're gonna split it proportional to how much money you put in. So I'm going to ask for a minimum of $100 per investment. But hey, if you want to put in, if the app is 100,000 and somebody wants to put in 50,000, hey, I am more than open to it. But basically, yeah, we're gonna cash in and cash out proportional to how much skin we put in the game. And then between my company, between the company Bionic Innovations and my other company, Genius Allegiance, we're going to provide and secure engineers, and we're going to build these apps up. So think of this like a digital REIT. So, 90% of all the money that is being generated pass through you guys are the shareholders. So if anybody who's familiar with REITs and real estate, you got to give, in order to qualify as a REIT, you got to give 90% of your earnings to your shareholders. Well, this is virtual real estate. So that's what we're doing. Any more other questions? And I'll have all this verbiage. Can you talk about how devs could possibly work for their share? Yeah. So, like I said, this is all going to be a group effort, but I mean, I would opine that, the ones who are putting in equity, I wouldn't think that we would be opposed to having a work share model with the dev. So we can either pay. So here's what I propose. I propose that we can either pay you directly, or you can put in sweat equity, and then we'll give you a percentage of the app residually, which in the long run, obviously, you'll get more money that way. But I understand sometimes we need that money right now. So, like I said, each acquisition is going to be different. The 10 people who invest in app A may not be the same 10 people who invest in app B. You feel me? So each acquisition is going to be different, and like I said, it's going to be depending on what the group decides. But at the very minimum, I don't see, like, we can pay you for your time and effort. I honestly would rather, if you're open to it, I'd rather you put in sweat equity and then we just give you a percentage of the app, of that portfolio. Well, what do you guys think? Are you open? Is everyone open to that? Of course, we don't have to make decisions right this second, but that's what I'm thinking. But thank you for the question, Rafik. All right, so we are at 1:15. So to wrap it up, guys, can you talk about how devs could possibly work for the share as a dev? I would Malloy. What is Malloy? Is that a name? Sorry, I'm having a dumb moment. I'm really tired. But yeah, I mean, that, like I said, no decision is going to be made right now because I'm not making totalitarian decisions. So that's all going to be up to each group. But I know at the very minimum, we can pay you, because that's what the membership dues are going towards. If you're interested, if you don't have the capital but you're interested in helping out as a dev, then come to the first meeting on Wednesday, introduce yourself to the group, and then let's all make a decision as a group. How's that? What do you mean by sweat equity? Sweat equity. So like I said, if you don't have the cash equity, if you don't have cash or money to put in towards the pool, but you are a developer and you're willing to put in work, that's sweat equity. So, put in a few hours into the app, help us get out the product, making more money, et cetera, et cetera. Then we'll decide as a group how much percentage, that sweat equity is worth for that acquisition, and we will give you your portion. And so that's what I mean by sweat equity. All right, cool. Well, guys, if you do me a favor and share this video on Twitter, because I know not everybody could make this meeting, I would greatly appreciate you guys. And other than that, if we don't, yeah, no problem, Bill. If we have no other questions, I'm gonna get back to finishing this web app, so you guys can, those of you who are interested, can go ahead and sign up. And then Wednesday at 7:30, don't forget to send me an email, jerome.parker@gmail.com. Send me an email, and so I can add you to the group. And then I'm gonna send out the invites on Tuesday. So you'll get a calendar invite. It'll have the Google link, the Google Hangout link, right in the calendar. And we're gonna have our first meeting Wednesday. I'm excited. Let's make this money. I wholeheartedly believe that we're gonna win. I'm not gonna tell people to put in money in something that I haven't already done. And that's why I'm just now talking about it 5 years down the line. Anybody who's had a one-on-one talk with me, y'all know that I've been doing this, but I haven't publicly said it because I don't want to give advice on something until I'm 100% sure I understand how to do it. So yeah, I'm ready to share the knowledge. I'm ready to share the wealth. So you guys have a blessed day. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out, email me at jerome.parker@gmail.com. And I'll holler at you guys later.